Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 115 of the RRBG podcast. Please check out the Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/RRBG and support the podcast. Sign up today. You get exclusive content, interviews that I did at Psycho Las Vegas with Andrew WK and Coven, Enslaved, a bunch of other bands, Red Fang, CKY. Check it out. Get access to those. Pick up a shirt. Support the podcast so I can bring it to you. I'm planning on taking the show on the road. And hopefully I'll be in a city near you. This episode is brought to you by Hofbräu, USA. Make sure to check out one of their Hofbräu houses all over the United States. My personal favorite being the Las Vegas location. I went there with my buddy Alex from Orange, and things got a little frisky with the paddle. It was a lot of fun. We had some great beers. They make some of the best authentic German lagers in the world. Right now I'm drinking an Oktoberfestbier that they gave me so kindly. My buddy Jeremy over there handed me a couple cases and sponsored the podcast. Really appreciate that. Pick up some authentic German lagers. Nice, delicious, crispy boys. In this episode, I talked to Isaias Gil of the band Black Flag. We chatted it up about how he joined the band. We talk a little bit about touring with them and what it's like. We shared some stories about salsa dancing and how to keep a rhythm when you're a drummer, and a bunch of other topics. I had a really great time talking to him. Check him out online at isaiasgil.com. Look up the drum off video from 2010. It's incredible. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Cheers. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the RRBG podcast. I'm here with Isaias Gil of Black Flag, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah. How long have you been playing in the band right now?
I started in January.
Okay.
Yeah, so 8 months.
8 months. And I mean, how has it been just kind of getting used to playing with such a legendary band like that?
It's super surreal. Like, everyone's so down to earth and everyone's really kind that's the wow factor. It feels like just friends making music, and
Nice.
and then I keep in mind, this is a legendary band with legendary songs, so I psych myself out about it, but it's this give and take, of trying to respect the music, trying to honor it, and then just being in awe of everyone just being totally down to earth.
That's awesome, man. I can't imagine. I mean, it sounds great, but yeah, it's one of those things you don't know how to react. Like you could end up freaking out about it and getting super pumped.
Yeah,
you got to remember that you got a job to do, and you're fucking this is your life now. You got to do it. You got to own it.
Yeah, man. No, for sure, and it's super cool.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, how did you guys meet? How did you meet those? I know you did the Guitar Center thing. That was kind of a big deal in 2010. That you got the drum off. But
yeah.
When did you meet them?
I connected with Mike Valley, who's singing right now, and is fronting Black Flag, and he has a project, like a solo project, and I connected with him a couple of years back on that, and it was just very, very casual, but also kind of there was an audition, but my name just came up, and I was asked if I wanted to audition, and I didn't have to think twice about it,
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
That's quite the phone call. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it was crazy,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And now you're in the middle of this massive tour. It's like what, two months more or less?
Yeah, just about. We started with festival dates in April, so we've been going at it. A couple of weeks on, a week off. We went to Canada, France, just doing kind of one-offs, and now this is. I believe it's 45 shows in 43 cities.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
big tour, man.
Yeah, everything's back to back, so it's kind of tiring, but then we get to the venue, we set up, and it's just all of that adrenaline and just excitement, kicks in.
Hell yeah, yeah. I mean, it's got to be exciting. You guys, you're. I mean, who's on the bill with you guys during that tour?
There's this band from Arizona. They're called the Line Cutters,
Okay.
and they're really great. They're young guys and just rocking music, and so they're going with us throughout this run. And I believe they're doing all of it. I'm not quite sure, but they kicked it off with us, and yeah, it's been cool to hear them play every night, and just great dudes.
That's awesome, man. And what's the plan? Like, have you guys been talking about, what's the future for Black Flag? Is there going to be more records? Is there, more touring? I mean, what's the deal?
Right now we're going. We have dates up until March of 2020, so
Wow.
it doesn't look like things are slowing down anytime soon. We've got once this run ends. We have a couple of weeks off, and then we go back over to the UK, and then Italy, and then Tokyo, which I'm hella hyped about.
Oh my god!
And then we end the year in Hawaii. So
Whoa.
it's not stopping anytime soon. But just I kind of just take it one day at a time, and I'm just listening to what they say, and I've heard talk about music, but I'm not too into those hip to those conversations.
Right. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like you show up like, hey, what's up? Let's write music now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, hey, I got this new beat I'm really inspired by. Come on, yeah, that wouldn't go over well.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
So, before you got that call, what were you doing? Like, how were you? I know you do studio work and stuff like that, but was it like a decision to make? I know you said you didn't think twice, but was there any kind of job or anything tying you back from like, okay, I'm going to hit the road now forever? Basically.
Well, yeah, I'm playing. Trying to think. There's 7 bands that I'm working with right now, and so that was really tough because I kind of have a system or just a schedule, so to speak, back at home in Houston, and I'm teaching private lessons. I'm working at a couple of studios, playing with these bands live, and so things were going well, and I have a steady Sunday gig, and I just felt really connected with everything I'm a part of there. So that was a little tough, but at the same time, everyone was super supportive, and just this is kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity,
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's one of those things. You do have to cut some of the things out, but I mean, it's only going to improve life for you. Just having that notch on your belt. You know what I mean? That's going to open up other doors for the future. I mean, you're still young, so there's
Thanks.
a lot for you to look forward to. I mean, I'm excited to see like some of the names that you've worked with. Like you said you've shared the stage with Travis Barker. You've worked with with Jane's Addiction and stuff like that. So how did you kind of get into that world? Like, because it's not everybody that could just post a drum video online and like now they're famous or they're working with these huge artists. Like, what was your introduction into this world of working with these big names like that?
Man, I've been really fortunate that things kind of just present themselves The drum off was huge for me, and I wasn't really ready for it. I didn't have a game plan. I didn't have anything in mind. I was just like, oh, this is cool, this is fun, and there's a price at the end.
Yeah.
That was it, and that kind of opened up the door and introduced me to different drummers that wear different hats. They're producers, or they have a managing company, whatever it is, and just word of mouth, man. I think on a bigger scale, and on a smaller scale, it's really similar. It just being a good person and being easy to work with, and kind of checking your ego at the door when you go into whatever opportunity you get, and then that kind of spreads. It's like, oh yeah, he's cool, or not.
Yeah. Dude, it's really, it is like that, and a lot of people find that very difficult to do, or check your ego. Like, that's such a big deal for so many people. They think that they're bad. I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, that doesn't matter. None of that matters. Like, you have to be respectful and aware of your surroundings, dude, and just be nice. It's such a hard concept, right? Don't be a dick.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. And what's really interesting is that the people I've run into that aren't super kind or whatever, they're the ones that are not working as much, and it's like, well, that sucks, but I could kind of see why,
Sure. Yeah, you can get their perspective. I mean, I know that I'm not the nicest guy in the world, but I try to be, and I try to reason when I see people, like unreasonable people that are just being super like dependent on their ego and just wanting to make a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just try and like ask more questions, like in a way, kind of feeding the ego, but also kind of trying to make it so that, like, hey man, just relax. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's we're all in this together,
Right.
and it's not about pulling one another down to get yourself further along. It's quite the opposite. That's what gets your career further along and opens new opportunities.
For sure. And so are you still living in Texas? Or
Yeah.
basically you're living in a van or a bus right now, right?
Yeah, right now, four wheels kind of rolling. But yeah, home base is Houston. For right now. We'll see what happens later on. But yeah.
Were you born in Mexico or were you born here in Texas?
I was born in Acapulco, in Mexico, yeah.
Okay.
And FedExed over very, very young to Houston.
FedExed.
And yeah. And so Houston's been home. I mean, I can't remember anything about Acapulco. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, so your parents are from Mexico as well. I mean, were they supportive of your music, choosing music? Because I know a lot of, like, South American, Latin American, like I'm Cuban, and I know that Latinos and stuff like that, we're very strict. Like, they want you to succeed, and music seems like a party lifestyle. Like, you're not really working.
Right. Well, I was raised by my grandparents,
Okay.
and what's really funny is my uncle, he played guitar, and there wasn't really like a musical bone in my body or anything like that. Growing up, I would just see him play guitar here and there, but when my mom kind of introduced me to the church scene that she was going to, I just honed in on the drummer, and they ended up letting me borrow a drum set, and I brought it home, and my grandfather was like, nah, if you want a guitar, I'm totally down, but no, this isn't going to work out. And
too much noise.
Yeah. And luckily there's, a pretty, it's a 50-year gap, age difference. So their hearing wasn't great. So that worked to my advantage.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were very strict and very, there was support there, but more than anything, it was, okay, this is a cool hobby, but what are you really going to do?
Right. Yeah.
And at one point, I got a check in the mail, and my grandpa opens everyone's mail that gets sent to the house. So
That sounds right. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. So I get home, and there's this like big grin on his face. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, I knew you could do it. And he hands me the check, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You told me not to do this.
It's like, it was my idea the whole time.
Yeah, totally. Like, yeah, that's my boy. And I'm like, you totally tried. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's all in that tough love. Like,
Sure.
he's an entrepreneur and had his own business and did several different things. So he kind of just wanted to have that continue, not necessarily his business, but that idea, that image.
Right.
And yeah, so now I get to do it with hitting things.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I know it's like that. That's why I brought it up. It's like, I know that, like for me, it was like that as well. Or like, the music is not, I'm not supporting, like, that's just a hobby,
Right.
Like, we're going to pay for you to go to school or something, and become an engineer or whatever it was. And, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was interested in becoming a pediatrician, and, I was encouraged to do that, obviously, by my family. They're like, yeah, go do that. And then somewhere along the line, I changed my mind, and I was just like, I could just go and play drums.
Yeah, man. And it's, it's a good time for people that are studio musicians to put their stuff out there. The internet's widely available to everyone. Everybody's got a cell phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And access to all this stuff. So now is the time to get out there and put yourself out there, because it works, man. Your video, I watched that drum off video from 2010. That shit's incredible.
Oh man, thank you.
I've never played. Well, that's a lie. I've played drums, but not in a band or anything. I was in a band, and I would jump on the kit every once in a while just to fuck around. I'd like try and play a song that I know, just one of my favorite songs. I'll try and play along with it, just as exercise, really.
Yeah.
Because I've always really, like, I'm in the car and I'm always air drumming. It's not like I don't do air guitar, I do air drumming. And
it's just it's fun. It's this like animal instinct in us. I like seeing little kids, like babies, just grabbing spoons or whatever and bashing away. I'm like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it's animalistic. I'm fascinated by the ability to move each limb individually at a different time signature, like that. That fucks with my head, because like, man, like, and I get, that's why I got really into more like proggy metal and stuff like that later on in life, because I'm like, I'm breaking it down. I'm like, Jesus, how are they doing that?
Man, it's really funny. A lot of people think about that independence, like your right foot, your left foot, all this stuff. And it took me a while to try to wrap my head around it. But now whenever I'm kind of sharing that with people, I'm like, hey, it's just counting. So using your words as a limb, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then all of a sudden you're not thinking about the independence between your limbs. You're more just lining things up to this anchor that you have going on. And now it's all working together. Yeah, maybe your right foot hits 1 and then an of 3 or whatever, but you're kind of you're giving it a compass. It's like, here's true north.
Dude, I've never had anyone explain it like that, and it makes perfect sense right now for me in the weirdest way possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things where if you think of it that way, it's so much easier, you know?
Yeah, one of the things people don't think about is the and
Yeah.
that made me think, because so it's really weird. My whole life I've been a metalhead, hardcore punk, all that. But I also, for one of my friends' 15s or 15s, they were like, hey, we're going to do couples dancing and you're going to learn how to do salsa.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we're going to do this. It's a roulette thing, like a casino, where you dance with a partner and then somebody's calling out moves.
Oh, all right.
And like one of the couples is calling out moves, and then you do a couple of moves in synchronized, and then you switch partners. Somebody yells out "dame," and they switch. Like we do a whole. It's a move too, right? Like it's not just
man.
like you step forward with your left foot, and then you pull with your right arm, and twirl with your left arm, so that she can move on to the guy in rhythm to the music.
Oh, dude, that sounds intense.
And like when you mentioned the 1 and 2, like that's how we do the footwork and all of that.
Yeah.
And that makes perfect sense for drumming. Like people don't think about the pause. They just go 1, 2, and
right.
they really have like a gap. They don't have an actual, like it's not metronomed, I guess, if you will. The time, like the space in between the 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That makes sense, dude.
I try to count in as much as I can, fast or slow, in 16th notes, 1 E and 2 E and at slower tempos. That gives me the ability to like have this kind of, in my mind, and it sounds super weird, but kind of like this train in motion. It doesn't have to be moving fast, but it's moving, and I'm finding kind of like that pocket. And when it's fast and there's like certain hits or whatever, because I'm thinking in 16th notes, I can catch if it's an and, or if it's a downbeat, or if it's in some weird place,
Nice, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's nuts, dude.
But like, just like with everything, it's just a little bit of practice. I had a swim coach that I absolutely stuck with me, and his whole thing was, practice makes permanent.
I like that.
And yeah, and it's one of those things where he's like, you can practice the same thing over and over, and if it's wrong, you're going to remember that wrong movement, So practice makes permanent, and for me it was just 16th notes. And now I'm interested in seeing that dance because I'm like, I want to practice that.
Dude, look it up. Look up casino. It's casino. Some people call it ruleta. It's basically just like 4 or 5 couples in a circle, and they, the one dude calls, and then sometimes you trade like who's doing the calls, I guess.
Oh man, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like jamming, but the music's already there. Like we always, and we would do, they would do exams, like, what ended up happening with me was I went to these classes to learn, and I got so hooked that I just kept going.
Heck yeah.
Just kept going and going and going, and like to the point where I started teaching people. And I was just like,
man, that's rad.
And, it became a thing too. So I was young and single. So I would go to these clubs with like 2 or 3 of the dudes from the class. And it was just like, hey, let's go grab a couple of girls. And we do the thing in the middle of the dance floor. And people would freak out and join in. And it was like a crazy improv. Like, all right, montaña, which is mountain. And then that means you're doing this maneuver with your hands with the girl where you put her arm around your neck and your arm around hers, and you do a little twirl or something. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, wow.
And we would learn these specific moves, like kiwi, and then kiwi's like you spin her like 5 times or some crazy shit. And, it was just nuts, man. We ended up, the class that I was in, we ended up doing this like halftime for the Dolphins in Miami at one point.
Dude, that's rad.
So it's this really weird part of my life that was very temporary, kind of like, hey, I did that for like 2 years, and I don't like it. Doesn't go together with any other part of my personality. You know what I mean? Like I'm also at municipal waste shows getting trashed and having a blast with metal dudes from Sweden. Like,
yeah. Oh man, that's super dope.
Yeah, man, it's crazy that you're in this world. Like, have you found that being of Mexican heritage, is that inspiring young vatos?
Man, I honestly don't know. I would hope so. We went to Mexico and we did 3 shows in Monterrey, Guadalajara, and Mexico City.
Nice.
And I hadn't seen some family since I was, like, I don't know, 5 or 6. And they came out and they were like, "Oh, we're so proud of you." And so for me, like, I'm not aware of other things happening. Mm-hmm. I wasn't even aware that like my family knew who Black Flag was. It's a huge band, but I didn't know that my uncles and their kids were into this kind of music. So I hope that it's inspiring others. I feel inspired by it, just every time we hit the stage.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's a thing right now that I think is important because of everything that's going on with the whatever administration that's running the country. Dude, you are, whether you know it or not, you are inspiring a bunch of dudes right now. Just doing shit like
thank you.
And like that's something to look forward to. Like it's just going to start growing now. Like the more tours you do, the more it gets out there, the more videos are out there of you performing and doing crazy shows. Like it's, it's a thing now. That's part of your life now.
It's unreal, but I'm way grateful for it, and just, I just want to serve the music, and whoever likes it, cool, and who doesn't, that's okay too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not for everybody.
So let me ask you this, and no disrespect to Black Flag, they are amazing and everything.
Yeah.
So if there was another band that was like a dream band for you to play in, what would that be?
Oh man, it would be Sting.
Sting.
Yeah.
Curveball. All
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like I've been listening to Sting. Oh man, like when I started playing drums, it was 10 Summoner's Tales, I think, was the album, and I didn't realize it was odd meter and all this crazy shit. I was just playing along to the songs, and then come to find out, it's like, oh, this one's in 5, this one is in 7, and how are you playing that already? I'm like, I don't know, I just put the record on, and I was trying to figure it out, I wasn't told that it was complicated, and so then it kind of just became a thing that every album he puts out, I'm listening to it. Not to mention, my favorite drummers are always on those albums. Vinny Colaiuta, Josh Freese, I'm listening to them and I'm like, oh man, that's so good. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's I love Sting as well. I grew up on lots of classic rock, and I had the opportunity in like 2006, I think it was. I started working at this company, IMC, and do stage production. We would build stages for shows at the arena.
Okay.
And it was like first gig was Aerosmith and Lenny Kravitz.
Oh man.
And I'm just like, wait, what? They're like, yep. We got 24 18-wheeler trucks coming in at 9 a.m. See you then.
Oh man.
Dude, I'm like unloading 24 trucks of gear and like couches and plants and laundry machines. I'm like, what the fuck? And then, eventually, we kept doing bigger shows. Like the Police was one of them. It was it was so sick they gave us shirts that say the Police crew and all, the whole thing. And it was a blast working with them, man.
That's super cool, man.
It's such a big production. Like at that level, I mean, I don't know. Black Flag is hugely famous, but they're not doing big production type shows. Like there's not fireworks and screens and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. They're the people that are at the venues are kind of not shocked, but just surprised whenever we show up, and they're like, "Oh, well, what do you guys need?" And we're like, "No, we're good." We hit up a couple of places prior to getting to the venue, so we have our food. Like, could we get some waters? And they're like, "Yeah, totally." So yeah, it's so laid back, and everyone is expecting that big thing. We need green M&Ms, and it's like
what you should do is just to fuck with the venues like down the road. Just pick one venue and be like on the rider. Just put like, we need a helicopter to fly by with the flag with the Black Flag logo on it.
Oh,
you can
man.
arrange that with the local sheriff or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that would be rad.
It's so ridiculous because I know that eventually someone's gonna be like, "All right, I guess we're getting a helicopter."
Yeah, I'm gonna ask for like a giraffe with a saddle
Yeah, so you could
And
ride into the stage.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Oh, right
I
in
just
a
want to go
giant
around the block once. Thanks so much. Yeah, all right. Now we got to
That's
get this shit out of here.
Oh man, dude, I wanted to ask you: did you grow up listening to a lot of like banda music too? Was that a part of your life?
Man, I think so.
Like
My
for anyone that's listening that doesn't know, the Mexican bandas are like the groups you see. There are like 20 of them on stage with like every instrument imaginable.
Yeah, well, it's like you take a drum set and you break it down. Like you get a
Ah,
snare, you get the bass drum, you get one cymbal, and it's like, oh, your drummer needs 15
assistance.
people. Yeah,
Sorry, man, I
but
can only focus on the snare.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, was that like, was your family into that at all? Like, were you hearing that around the house? And do you think that influenced any of your playing?
I think so. It was mainly the parts of town that I grew up in. Like I said, my family wasn't too big into music. If it was playing, it's whatever. But they didn't really go out of their way to like get into music, you know.
Okay.
But in the neighborhood, there was always all sorts of music around, and yeah, I remember hearing that, and then when I was in high school, just as a joke, we would throw some of that stuff on, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, man. I kind of dig this thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, it kind of all genres of music were kind of always around wherever we were.
that's cool. Yeah, my
Yeah,
family, for some reason, I mean, all Cubans and Spaniards, but they had a fascination with bringing mariachis to parties. Like
yeah,
every fucking party, somebody, whoever's birthday it was, or it's Thanksgiving, we got a mariachi. It's like, what? Where?
yeah.
Like,
No,
okay.
did you guys ever do serenatas?
No, not really. I mean, unless you just mean like Saturday night, my mom was drunk and was just singing around the house.
No,
That's
no. So my uncle, he would like show up, and it would be 11 or midnight, and like they would just start singing outside of the door, kind of like open up the door, kind of trying to be romantic, either for my grandma's birthday or for his girlfriend or whatever.
Mm.
And that was so annoying, man. I'm like, I'm like, shut up! We're trying to sleep in here. He's like, no, it's sweet. I'm like, do it during the daytime.
Yeah, why now?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, dude. I forget where. Yeah, it was in Peru. I went to Peru for like a month just to do some like I'm gonna go find myself. Like
Okay.
what I mean, a spiritual journey. We did the whole Inca Trail thing up to Machu Picchu. We did a bunch of shit, but at one point we ended up in some random ass town, like, and I mean, like dirt town. The houses were made of clay, like the clay
Whoa.
bricks. Yeah, like rough. There was it was like a communal sink in the middle of town. That's where everyone showered and or did anything.
What? Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 apartments, all just built out of clay, like clay, and I'm talking you rub the wall and it comes off
Oh,
like that. And
crazy.
dude, I don't know how we ended up there. We didn't take enough money. We didn't plan shit. My family, my friend, my friends, and my girlfriend that we all went together my ex girlfriend. We just kind of winged it, and man. There was 4 a.m. This lady singing and smashing things around the house like pots and pans and singing to wake everyone up.
Oh man.
And it was so that everyone gets up and they have to go. They have to go get food. Like that's it.
Oh man.
And,
Like hunt for it and shit.
like no, like go. Harvest vegetables and fruit for the day, and
Oh, okay, gotcha.
someone has to go out and find a butcher and all that, like the whole thing. And it was like a really, really like small pueblo just in the middle of the mountains, and
Man.
dude, it was just fascinating to me. Like, that's their life every day. 4 a.m. somebody starts singing and they do like a whole song, like and everybody's up and as they get up they start joining in on the song.
Oh no, no.
Yeah, and I'm just like, fuck.
I would strangle someone.
Dude, I mean, thankfully, we only did that for one night. I was like, no, we have to get out. We have to go, dude. We have to go. I'm sorry, but the communal sink did me in. I was just like, nah, nope. I've gone on tour with bands. I can go another day without showering. Let's just find somewhere to shower, please.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we ended
That's
up,
awesome.
we ended up staying in the back of a restaurant. They had like a tiny little like hostel in the back of a restaurant with the bathroom was a shower with a toilet in the shower. So there was no space for anything else. You did everything in the shower.
Hey, man, save some time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I was like, cool, this is good. Oh, man. So let me go back to you playing in Black Flag. If you had a fantasy tour package with Black Flag, who was on that bill?
Foo Fighters.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age.
Hell yes.
All
the bands Dave Grohl's in.
Yeah, man. Like, it's oh man, he's so great.
Have you met him?
No. Just I'm a huge fan and
good guy, Dave.
Yeah, I'm like a couple of people removed. Like that Kevin Bacon thing, whatever.
Yeah.
The separation.
7 degrees, 6 degrees.
Separation? Yeah. So I'm like 2 degrees, and I'm like so close and excited, but it never happens. I've never gotten to. Yeah, thanks, man.
It'll happen. You're like I said, you're still young. This is like you'll get there. I haven't met him, but I've had that happen where like in my when I was younger, I'd be like, fuck, I want to meet this dude. It's my favorite. Let's hang out. And then it happens like years later, and I look back and I'm like, man, you remember that little kid like wishing?
Yeah.
There it is. It happened.
No, it's crazy. A lot of the albums that I would throw on the boombox and play along to, I've gotten to work with a lot of them, and it's so just nuts for me to think like, man, I was just practicing or playing, just pretending, that I was in a band, and now here I am like playing with these bands that I would play along to, and it's unreal. So I'm hoping that happens with Dave Grohl.
I think it totally will, man. And that brings me to the point I made earlier about you inspiring people. Like this is you. Like you had a dream to play in a band, and now you're playing with the bands you wanted to play with. Like, and in that, in this time of political crap that that people are getting deported and ICE everywhere and all this shit, like we need to stand up and show that we can do shit too, man.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Sorry with all the cursing. I'm just very angry about this situation.
Oh, no. No apologies necessary, man. Like I totally get it and completely agree. I've been through the process to be here legally and all of that, and the level of understanding and just you see things differently when you've experienced life as a minority, or and at some point everyone kind of has. So I totally hear what you're saying, and man, I hope I have the brains to realize that, and to, I don't know, kind of put my best foot forward whenever it comes to not trying to inspire, but just be whatever I need to be for someone to think, hey, I could do that. Hey, I didn't have this upbringing, or I didn't have whatever, but I still think I can do it, and yeah, why not?
Exactly. Exactly. And it's not a matter of like, I don't want you to, I don't want to put in like perspective, like, oh, now you have something to live up to. Like, it's not like that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just be you. And like you said earlier, like not being a dick, super easy.
Yeah.
Just be nice to people. It's not hard. It's really surprisingly easy, guys, to stop being mean. It's like, I get it. You're angry. Stuff happens. That girl didn't call you back. Your mom yelled at you. Whatever. I get it. You know.
Yeah. Life happens, but it also keeps going. So not sweating the little things.
Yeah. Don't sweat the little things. Don't just be nice. You see someone, trying to help or do something positive, you maybe want to be a part of that, and do something good with other people. Like, I don't know. I think it's great. I think it's great what you're doing, and I honestly, I hope the Black Flag thing goes on forever. It won't. I mean, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Who knows how much longer is in the future for that? But it seems that they're able to move on. Like, it's more of a Black Flag is more of a movement at this point than it is like like Henry Rollins is not in it. He was in it, and he's not in it. Like, and people have come and gone. So
yeah,
it's a movement.
Well, like Greg Ginn, he is Black Flag.
Yeah,
that's his life, and yeah, there's been 4 singers. But man, he keeps going, and he's the kindest, most genuine person, and it's really inspiring. And man, as long as they'll have me, I'll keep hitting things for them.
For sure, man, for sure. And I see, like I said, I see nothing but good stuff in your future. So just wanted to thank you for taking time to talk to me. And
thank you, I appreciate it.
Dude, next time, you guys are playing like 2 shows in Southern California. We should meet up.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Just let me know what show, and we'll make it happen.
That's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. Let's see. There's Pasadena on the lineup. You got, like I said, you're on tour now, and it goes till September 22nd, which ends in Santa Ana. Santa Ana is actually pretty close to my house. I'm in Long Beach.
Oh, yeah, man. I lived out there. I love it.
Yeah, Long Beach is great, man.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah. Well, dude, let's stay in touch. Thank you so much for the time. Where do people find you on the internet?
Everywhere. Isaias Gil, or Instagram, Isaias Gil. I think in Twitter it's Isaias Gil 9, because someone had Isaias Gil and they wouldn't let me have it. I'm not bitter about it, whatever.
Yeah. No.
And then I've got my website, isaiasgil.com, and yeah, I'm happy to connect with everyone and anyone that wants to connect with me.
Yeah, you do. You're a drum instructor as well, so you do lessons and stuff.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to learn how to play drums with a real badass, can hit him up. Hit
me up. We'll count out loud.
1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah.
No, dude, thanks again, man. We'll stay in touch.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You as well.
Coward, trying to control. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. They distort what we say. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. Try to stop what we do. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. When they can't do it themselves. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. We are tired of your abuse. Try to stop us, it's no use. Society's out of control. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. Think they're smart, can't think themselves. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. Laugh at us behind our back. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. I find satisfaction in what they lack. Rise above, we're gonna rise above. We are tired of your abuse. Try to stop us, but it's no use. Rise above.